What's the matter with little Vicky?
He sees Ben and Miss Jordan.
Hello, what brings you here? How's yourself, Ben?
Abel thrusts his hand at Ben, who skips back smartly and retreats Miss Jordan to a safe distance below the sofa. Approaching Abel gingerly.
Father, is that you?
She pokes him with her hand to see if he is a solid.
Of course, it's me. Don't do that, Amelia. What the devil do you mean by this tomfoolery?
You took us by surprise, Father. Are you keeping quite well?
Trying to catch the words.
What?
Are you quite well?
I'm right enough, but for a bit of a headache, Amelia.
Looking at Emilia.
What the dickness did I do with my new slippers?
Confused.
Aren't they by the hearth, Father?
I don't see them.
Observing Henry trying to remove the slippers.
Why you have got them on, Henry?
I told him to put them on to stretch them. They were that new and hard now, Henry.
Miss Slater snatches the slippers from Henry and gives them to Abel, who pushes them on and sits in the armchair.
Well, I don't call that delicate, stepping into a dead man's shoes in such haste.
Victoria runs across to Abel and sits on the floor at his feet.
Oh, Grandpa, I'm so glad you are not dead.
In a vindictive whisper.
Hold your tongue, Victoria.
Yeah. What's that? Who's gone dead?
Victoria says she's sorry about your head.
Thank you, Vicky. But I'm feeling better. Why, Ben, you are in mourning, and Lizzie too. And Amelia and Henry and little Vicky. Who's gone dead? It's someone in the family?
No one you know, Father, a relation of Ben's.
And what relation of Ben's?
His brother.
Damn it, I never had one.
Dear, dear. And what was his name, Ben?
He crosses to front of table. Right side of table, prompting. Left side of table, prompting.
Albert?
Alfred Albisac.
Isaac. And where did your brother Isaac die?
In Australia.
Well, I suppose you have only been waiting for me to begin tea. I'm feeling hungry.
Taking up the kettle.
I'll make a tea.
Come along now. Sit you down and let's be jolly.
Abel sits at the head of the table facing spectres. Suddenly recollecting.
Hey, Amelia and Henry. What the devil did you mean by shifting my bureau out of my bedroom?
Henry and Miss Slater are speechless.
Did you hear me? Henry, Amelia.
What bureau was that, Father?
Why, my bureau. The one I bought.
Was it the one, Father?
That's it. What's it doing there?
A pause. The clock on the mantel plate strikes 6. Everyone looks at it.
Drat me if that isn't my clock too. What the devil's been going on in this house?
Well, I will be hanged.
I will tell you what's been going on in this house, Father. Nothing short of robbery.
Be quiet, Elizabeth.
I will not be quiet. Oh, I call it double faced.
Now, Elizabeth.
And you too are such poor creature that you must do every dirty thing she tells you.
Damn it all. Will someone tell me what's been going on?
Yes, I will. I will not see you robbed.
Who's been robbing me?
Amelia and Henry, they have stolen your clock and bureau. They sneaked into your room like thieves in the night and stole them after you were dead.
Shh! Quiet, Elizabeth.
I will not be stopped after you were dead, I say.
After who was dead?
You?
But I'm not dead.
No, but they thought you were.
Oh, so that's why you were all in black today. You thought I was dead. That was a big mistake.
Father,
It didn't take you long to start dividing my things between you. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Since your mother died, I've lived part of the time with you, Amelia, and part with you, Lizzie. Well, I shall make a new will leaving all my bits of things to whoever I'm living with when I die. How does that strike you?
You know, Father, it's quite time you came to live with us again. We would make you very comfortable.
no. He has not been with us as long as he was with you.
I may be wrong, but I don't think, Father, you'll fancy living on with you after what happened today.
It seems to me that neither of you has any cause to feel proud about the way you treated me.
If I have done anything wrong, I am sure I'm sorry for it.
And I can't say more than that, too.
It's a bit late to say it now. Neither of you care to put up with me.
No, Father.
Eh, you both say that because of what I've told you about leaving my money. Well, since you don't want me, I'll go to someone that does.
Come, Mr. Merriweather, you have got to live with one of your daughters.
I'll tell you what I've got to do. On Monday next, I've got to do 3 things. I've got to go to the lawyer and alter my will. And I've got to go to the insurance office and pay my premium. And I've got to go to St. Philip's Church and get married.
What?
Get married.
He is out of his senses.
I say I'm going to get married.
Who to?
To Mrs. John Sherlock's, who keeps the Ringo bells. We've had it fixed up a good while now, but I was keeping it for a pleasant surprise. I felt I was a bit of a burden to you, so I found someone who'd think it as a pleasure to look after me. We shall be very glad to see you at the ceremony. Till Monday, then, 12 o'clock at St. Philip's Church. It's a good thing you brought that bureau downstairs, Amelia. It'll be handier to carry it across to the Ringo bells on Monday.